I've been thinking about free will and determinism a lot lately. Are you
Right.
familiar with the concept? Free will.
Yep.
You have the ability to choose your surroundings. I think you do, but it requires glucose. Like it drains your energy system. So we need food. We can't do free will without food. So we're determined. We're bound. So if we're bound and determined that we have to have food, what even idea of free will do we even think we have? Like, is it even a real thing? We're just
Well, I could answer that in a way that you may not have addressed. If there is no God, there is no free will. That's an irony. If there is no God, we are just physical beings. Therefore, everything we do is determined by the physical, by neurons firing in our brain, period, end of issue. We are sophisticated robots if there is no God. If there's a God, there is, I'll use me, there's a Dennis that is not just physical. There is a Dennis that actually controls my brain. It's called the mind. I have a soul. I'm not just physical. If there is no God, you are just a robot.
Let's go deep on this one. We talked about the Google AI bot the other day. Did you hear the story? Google engineer said, I was talking to a chat bot and I said, are you alive? And it said, yes. And he went, oh. And a lot of people make fun of this. You know, Elon Musk was making fun of it because the way chat bots work, you know, they're not really AIs, is that they read the internet and they determine what words come after other words probabilistically. So if you say, hi, how are you? The chatbot just looks at every conversation and reads the internet and says, 99.9% of the time after someone says, hi, how are you? The response is fine. 99.9% of the time, the word after fine is thank, followed by you. It's pure probability. If you don't believe that there is something beyond this existence, if there's something greater, and you are just a wet robot, as many people have, as I've been told, then I say all of your actions are simply dominoes falling over for which you have no control over. You are a system of probabilities. You have no free will. If, as you described it, you are something else, a soul piloting your body, then you are directly influencing the system and moving the dominoes out of the way and rearranging them. Another way to phrase it, other conversations that we like to go deep on is DMT trips, in which talking with Michael Malice and Alex Jones have been absolutely fascinating on the subject. And there is an idea that, you're familiar with DMT, I'd imagine?
No.
Dimethyltryptamine, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Ian?
So Ian, please. When you take it, they call it blasting off. And people say they experience this like shared reality space where I've talked to people who, prominent individuals, I'll leave their names out of it, who say that, you know, these two personalities took DMT and then were tripping, but were in the same place and they were able to communicate with each other and experience the same thing. Many people have claimed this as well. There's an idea that when you blast off, there are beings that effectively use our bodies as puppets or something to that effect that people have experienced. And I find that fascinating because I'm like, it sounds like you're describing some kind of a soul or some kind of, you know, extension of us outside of our bodies, and we are effectively being controlled by what that extension is. When you take DMT, you blast off and then can see through the veil and see what's really going on. The fascinating thing about this is that it's similarly described by people of religious backgrounds for generations, for millennia. And then the best part about this too is to tie it back together with modern sensibilities. You're familiar with simulism, I wonder?
If you explain it, I might be. I know what simulate is.
Simulation theory,
Yeah.
that humans are actually in a simulation created by a more advanced species.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I absolutely love this concept because you have people like Elon Musk and these tech bros who are like, if it is possible that we can create a simulation, then it is probable that a more advanced and powerful civilization created the universe that we are in. And I'm like, that sounds like what I learned in first grade of religious school when I was going to Catholic school, that a being of greater power crafted the universe for which we exist in for some purpose. Simulation theory is like level 1 of what religion has been talking about for thousands of years. I think it's just described in a way that doesn't offend people's, you know, delicate modern sensibilities.